Well, looking ahead, March 3rd is Employee Appreciation Day, and surveys show that many people are leaving their jobs because they don't feel appreciated. Well, our next guest has a few tips on how leaders can make employees feel valued. Dr. Tim Elmore is joining us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Excited to talk to you today.
My pleasure. Great to be with you.
Dr. Elmore, let's talk about what are some ways that leaders can show understanding and recognition to their employees.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm most mindful of these days is that I think we need to customize our encouragement and affirmation. So a Generation Z team member who's 22 or 23 may want something very different than a baby boomer or a Gen Xer. So a boomer might go, hey, the best way you encourage me is a corner office with a bonus. Gen Z might go, I want more flexibility. So I think we need to know our people and maybe play chess rather than checkers with our teams.
Sure. And speaking about ways to communicate across all generations, what's something that leaders can do to make sure that they're connecting with their employees across all generations?
Yeah. You know, this sounds so cliche, but I think we need to read our people before we lead our people. So there's that chess and checkers metaphor I gave earlier. When you play chess, all your pieces are different. The bishop's different than the knight, that's different than the queen. I got to know what I have in front of me. When I play checkers, they're all alike. So as silly and simple as that sounds, I got to know what's their love language. You know, what language do they speak? And then secondly, I think we need to remember to be very specific. It's nice to hear good job, but it's even nicer to say, I love the way you pitch that idea to that customer. Keep doing that. That was perfect. So I think, just being specific is going to go a long, long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking about reading people, but also we can read a book, right? Tell us a little bit about your new book, A New Diversity.
Yeah, well, we talk a lot today about diversity, do we not? And we need to. Ethnic diversity, gender diversity, income diversity. But I feel like there's an elephant in the room today. You know, we all know it's there, but we don't know how to talk about it. And it's generational diversity. So many organizations have as many as 5 generations trying to collaborate together. And very often we get frustrated with each other because, you know, a 20-something just thinks differently than a 50-something. So the book is all about it's really an encyclopedia to understand these different generations and how we might communicate better to get the very most out of them. And one last thought I would share real quick. I think very often we think the goal is just to put up with each other because we're so different. I think we need to leverage the strengths that each generation brings to the team. And that's what I try to talk about in this book.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great tip right there. Do you have any other tips on how maybe leaders can continue to have maybe what are difficult conversations for success?
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I tend to be a very bottom line person. I am a baby boomer, and I tend to think my hourglass is slipping away. I've got to get to the bottom line. I need to remember that's not true for everybody else. I need to build a relationship before I think about results. So connection before correction. I have to say that to myself all the time. And when I do make a connection at the heart level, oh my gosh, everything goes better. So one thing I would say is, think mentor, not manager. Nobody wants to be managed. Nobody says, hey, manage me, you know. But I do think people are saying, boy, I could use a mentor right now. And if we see ourselves that way, we form that connection and that bridge forms rather than the wall that we often put up.
Yes,
I love that, mentor, not manage.
Yes.
Great tip, Dr. Elmore. I like that a lot.
Yes, relationships over results. I love all of your little catchphrases that you've given us today. A lot to think about. Thank you, Dr. Elmore, for joining us. We appreciate it.